All right, folks, how you doing? WrestleTrueResults303.com. Check out the website, link in the description box, social media, related topics. Once again, thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you spending your time with me. I hope these videos are helping. Coming at you today with consequences, right? Everything that we do in life has some form of a consequence, whether it's good or bad. And you just got to face the facts, face up to it. If you did something wrong, you got to pay the price. If you did something good, you reap the rewards. So what are these consequences? Of course, we're going to start with exercise, right? If we're not lifting weights, we're not running, if we don't have a well-designed program, what can happen? First off, if it's not a well-designed program, we can hurt ourselves even more, right? That's why if you are new to the game and you get in the gym and you have no idea what you're doing, it's probably best to either go home and do a bunch of research yourself, purchase a month worth of personal training so you can find out your weaknesses and what your strengths are and what you can do to build a program for you. It's like I tell people, if our strengths are here but our weak muscles are here and we keep exercising, if we're already weak with no exercise, right? We start to exercise, this is going to go up, this is going to stay. Next thing you know, we're out of the screen, you can see that. That's going to be a problem, right? Now we're going to mess our body up. Those are the people that exercise and all of a sudden they're like, oh, I exercised and I just got worse. Everything hurt even more. Well, that's because you didn't know what you were doing. And unfortunately, you had to pay the price, right? What if we're not exercising at all? We're going to lose muscle. Same thing as we get older. It's funny how when we get older, we see the older generation put weight on, but it seems like they always eat the same or they don't eat much, right? And that's because if you're losing muscle, you don't need as many calories. So if you're eating the same amount of calories, you're going to gain more weight because your body doesn't need those extra calories. Or, we don't have a cardio routine. We're not walking. You can't even make it up the stairs without huffing and puffing. You can't play with your grandchildren. You can't play with your children, right? These are the consequences of no exercise. These are the consequences of being a couch potato, sitting at home and doing nothing. There are consequences, right? A bad nutrition, what can happen? Same thing. If we're overeating, we're putting on weight. We're putting garbage into our body, right? Every single cell in our body is, our body reproduces every single cell every, I think it's like 3-4 years. Every cell in your body is brand new. Some of it daily, weekly, monthly, yearly. But if we're feeding our body poorly, how is our body going to make a healthy cell? It's not going to be able to make a healthy cell. It's going to make a deformed cell. And next thing you know, it's just rebuilding a messed up body, right? So that can happen. We're going to come up with disease. We're going to get aches and pains in our body if we don't have proper nutrition. That's a consequence of neglecting your body through nutrition. The consequence of neglecting your body through exercise, right? So next, in a relationship, right? If we're not talking and we're not having open lines of communication with that loved one, even with our family members, that relationship is going to deteriorate, right? Same thing if we're not spending time. It's a funny thing. My cousin said a while back he started dating this chick and they broke up within 2 or 3 months. I'm like, why'd you break up? Well, because once we started dating, she wanted to spend time together. She wanted to spend time with me every day. She wanted to spend time with me all the time. She wanted to hang out all the time. Well, yeah, that's what happens when you date someone. That's what happens when you decide you want to allow someone into your life, right? They want to spend time with you. They want you to open up. They want you to be vulnerable. These are the things that you have to do. And if you don't, the consequences are they're going to leave. You're going to have a bad relationship. You're going to have a lot of arguments if we're not able to do that. That's the consequence of not putting your all into it, right? That person will no longer be there. They will let you go. They will find someone new, right? Same with your family. They will blackball you from the family. They don't want you around no more until you're able to get your stuff together, right? And then we have to go through that pain and struggle of, now I'm out of shape. Now I'm all messed up. Now I got to put in so much freaking work in the gym, right? Man, I got to be in 6 days a week, 7 days a week. When can I just go once or twice a week, Well, sorry, you can't go once or twice a week. Your body is way too, trying to look for an intelligent word, and I'm not going to come up with one though, but your body is just too deconditioned and just too beat up. You have to get in there and put in hard, serious work, right? You got to put in time since you've neglected your body for so long. That's a consequence. Now you have to put more time into it. The longer we wait to actually start taking care of business and handling what we need to handle, the more work it's going to take in the long run. So, where am I going with all this conversation, right? Consequences. Where am I going with this? So, of course, Catholic Christian channel. The Catholic Church believes in purgatory, right? A lot of the other Christian religions don't believe in purgatory, but just off of some of these basic, regular examples I've given you of normal situations in everyday life, there are consequences for what we do, right? And that there's no difference when it comes to following Jesus and trying to live the life that God wants us to live. We're going to slip. We're going to stumble, right? I sin every day, unfortunately. Probably sin right before I made this video today. I'm going to sin after it. But the church has that confession, but we're not going to go there, right? But what does Jesus ask for us? He asks us, pick up your cross and follow me, right? He wants your all. He doesn't want everything. Right? He doesn't want just this part. He wants it all. When I listen to a lot of these Catholic homilies and stuff, and that's what they say, if you can't make God if you don't let God control your finances, what really is he going to control? If you don't let God control what your actions are in the bedroom or in your love life, what really does God control? Or that saying, once I feel like I've given God everything, then he asks me for something else. Or I've seen some great pictures where they show a little girl and she's holding her teddy bear, right? And Jesus has his hand out and he says, trust me. He's asking for that teddy bear, and she's sitting there holding that teddy bear, and she says, but I love him, Jesus, right? And then behind him, though, Jesus has this huge, monstrous teddy bear that he's ready to swap with her. But she's got to be willing to let go of everything and just trust in him, right? So I thought that was a good story. But once again, we have that sinful nature, and we're always going to let God down, unfortunately. We're not going to live that plan that he wants for us. And that's okay, as long as we are always striving to be better. We are striving to be saints. We are striving to be holy. Don't settle to be good. We have to go, and we have to make sure that we are trying our best to follow God and live the Christian life. It is a lifestyle, folks, right? So make sure that you are trying your best daily. But unfortunately, we are going to fail most of the time, right? So, purgatory. Now we've got to realize, yes, we are forgiven from our sins when we go through baptism and, we ask God for forgiveness. Yes, we are forgiven, but unfortunately, these sins still follow us. The punishment, the consequences of these sins are still going to follow us into the future. And this is biblical. So where is it biblical? Genesis, right away. Adam and Eve, right? They ate from the tree of knowledge or whatever it was. And right away, they were taken from the garden, right? No longer in the garden. What happened? God told Adam, now you will have to till the earth, and you will have to, fend for yourself. And the snake, because, the snake is what tricked them and deceived them. He says, now the snake will strike at your heel. And then with Eve, right, from now on, when you give birth, it will no longer be a peaceful process. You will have birthing pains. And to this day, those are still things that we have to do. Those are still consequences that the human race must go through for sins from the first humans, the first parents, right? Those are sins that we still now are struggling with. That original sin. We're still dealing with those, right? So, where is it in the Bible at least? So, the Catholic Bible has a few more books than others. So sorry, I got here on my computer so I don't have to flip through the book. So we have the book of Maccabees. So in Maccabees 2, so Maccabees 12:46. Thus he made atonement for the dead that they might be freed from sin. So once again, this is kind of the praying for the dead. Let's see where it is in the New Testament. We've got Revelations 21:27. But nothing unclean will enter it, nor anyone who does abominable things or tells lies. The saying, no one's going to enter heaven unless we are cleansed, unless we are purified. Right? We will not. And I didn't want to have too many pages open, so here's one more real quick. 1 Corinthians 3. We're going to start at 12. Now, if anyone builds on the foundation with gold, silver, precious stones, wood, hay, straw, the works of each builder will become visible, for the day will disclose it, because it will be revealed with fire, and the fire will test what sort of work each has done. If what has been built on the foundation survives, the builder will receive reward. If the work is burnt up, the builder will suffer loss. The builder will be saved, but only as through fire. So what is fire? Fire is a purifier, right? It purifies things. It cleanses things. We boil water to purify it, right? Same thing. If you get a cut, you always see in the movies where they grab their hot poker and they're jamming it in there to seal the cut up, and fire will kill bacteria. So there's just a few things in there, and then we'll just see what the catechism actually says about purgatory. Just the definition: a state of final purification after death and before entrance into heaven for those who died in God's friendship, but were only imperfectly purified. A final cleansing of human imperfection before one is able to enter the joy of heaven. So once again, we still have those consequences, and it's all right. The church has other ways where we say, yes, you can pray and things like that to hopefully kind of shorten that time in purgatory or whatever, or trying to rid the consequences, or, kind of try and pay for them in this lifetime so we're in purgatory a little less. But another topic, another big story. But either way, as long as you are trying to be a saint, you were trying to be holy, you were trying to live that perfect life, you're going to make it. Never give up. Like I said, there is purgatory, a state of cleansing. We don't know how long it's going to be. It could be flash, boom. Like I said, you will be cleansed through fire. It could be 2 seconds. It's nothing crazy. Nobody knows. We just know that it is in the Bible. And there is proof that there is a purgatory and an area that we go of cleansing and purification so we can see and enter heaven. But we don't know how long it is. But there is purgatory in heaven, right? But once again, there are consequences to our actions in anything we do in life. And as long as we try to live our life better today than we did yesterday, we're on the right path. All right, so once again, subscribe to the channel, share and like these videos.